I'm 50 years old. I don't have the luxury of time to grow my real estate portfolio, so it is better for me to get into multifamily, both small and or commercial. I disagree with this and almost all of the premises of it. So one of my mentors grew his portfolio. I don't know exactly how old he was, but I believe he was in his late 50s or early 60s to start. And I mean, he has several hundred homes now. And then you've got examples like, Colonel Sanders, who, started the KFC thing so old. And I know that I'm not 50 yet. I will be one day, Lord willing, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think that you should ever use age or anything else as a reason as to why you can't get started, or anything else. I've said this a lot recently, and obviously I don't know from experience about age and the energy levels or any of that, but I mean, I fully plan on dying with properties under contract, right? I absolutely love what I'm doing. I love it. And I'm going to be buying properties when I'm 50, 60, 70, whatever, however long I live. I'll be buying properties or helping any of my many kids buy properties, right? I don't plan on stopping. And I don't think you probably should either. And I definitely don't think you should view your age as a reason as to why you can't pursue something, right? And when it comes to whether or not you should do single family or multifamily, it is totally a personal preference. So I would say at the end of the day, all business comes down to an ROI. So if one asset class has a return on investment that's significantly higher than the other, sure, take a look at the one that's higher and figure out why it's higher, right? It's perhaps the market, right? Like the return on investment here in the Midwest is significantly higher from the very high populated city centers that are more popular, like the New Yorks and Californias of the world, right? So we get deals for unbelievable prices if you ask one of those fellows. But at the end of the day, the different businesses, it comes down to return on investment. All return on investment being equal, if you could make similar in single family as you can in multifamily, then it just comes down to your personal preference of what types of problems that you want to deal with, right? If you're going to make 18% per year, whether you buy a single family house or a multifamily, or whether you buy a dry cleaning business, the only thing that matters is, are you going to hate the problems that come along with that? And so far, from my exposure to multifamilies thus far, like we don't have, like right now, all of the really large apartment complexes, like 100, 200, 300 unit complexes are being built. They're all new builds. I don't have any experience in new construction. That's not something that I've done. All the existing multifamily in the area, I would say about 90% of it is 4 units, 6 units. The biggest building I think I've ever seen for sale here locally has been like 15 units, right? So I do not like the problems that accompany the 4 units or to 12 unit buildings, right? You have to have a certain amount of volume in order, and you have to have a certain amount of just sheer space in order for people to kind of have their own areas, their own space. Because right now, my experience in 4 units is that if you get one bad resident in there, and screening is hard, you're gonna make mistakes, right? So if you get one bad resident in there, they can make all the other three want to move out. It's really tough to judge, and just this kind of intra-tenant drama, I'm not a fan of. So on the single families, when everybody has their own space, if they have a problem with their neighbor, then it's a city ordinance, law enforcement type problem, right? It's not something that I did. It's not something that someone that I put there, right? So there's a lot more autonomy from the resident perspective. And I also just think that the demographic of the people that rent single family homes is far less transient than those that enter the 4 to 12 unit space that we have here in the area. So my answer to this, all in all, is don't let your age be any type of a burden to you, right? If you feel like you should start building something, then you should. And then I would say whatever business you pursue, you're probably going to get pretty similar ROI. And it's just a matter of what problems do you want to deal with. I think that's probably the most important thing. And I would say that is how a lot of people, because yes, money is important. Money is this threshold. You need a certain amount of it to satisfy your lifestyle, right? But after you reach the certain amount that you need, whatever your number is, it really becomes about lifestyle. Do you enjoy what you do every day? Are you comfortable with the problems that you have? Or are the problems that you have ones that you're just not willing to deal with? My wife and I, the first business that we started, we did not like the problems at all. We became pretty miserable pretty quickly dealing with those problems. So even though, sure, it was helping us reach our financial number, it wasn't moving the appropriate lifestyle. So once you satisfy, your lifestyle from a financial perspective, then it's an energy, and it's kind of like an energy thing. Do you want to spend your energy on these types of problems? Do you want to have this appropriate or this style of life that comes along with this business? And finding one that you find yourself joyful to have those problems is a real tangible thing. Now, you may have built a business or two, I know I have, where I learned pretty late. Like the businesses were already built out when I learned that I did not like them at all. So, here now, as far as single family homes go, I am so overwhelmed with gratitude that I get to deal with the types of problems that come along with this. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's a real thing. That's kind of how I would suggest everybody else kind of view things once you satisfy that financial thing.
Thanks for watching that clip. I thought that was a good question. And I think you can ask good questions too. Join us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a live stream Q&A where we answer plenty of questions just like this one. In the meantime, consider subscribing to the channel if you want more of this content. And if you want to increase your deal flow, analyze properties better, and help me feed my family, click the link below for a free 7-day trial of PropStream.